Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Roundtable here at mycountylink.com as we take a look at interesting people, places, and things going on around not only Greenville and Darke County, but also West Central Ohio. I'm Alex Warner, joined as always by Mike Stiegel here on my left, Galen Blosser on my right, and in between, I guess the rose between all the thorns is Holly Hill from the Brethren Retirement Community. We're going to talk to Holly in just a little bit about different things going on in retirement communities as well as the aging process and things of that nature. And first of all, though, Galen, you wanted to say a few things about, you had a little involvement out to BRC last week, I think.
I did. Our Veteran Service Commission, we're giving out blankets this year. We've gone to all the nursing homes in Darke County. Last week we went out to BRC, and they have by far the most. There was 30 out there, the blankets we handed out, and it's just another way that Darke County Veteran Services tries to service our veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and out at BRC they were so kind, and Dave Wolverton was out there, and it's just a lot of guys. We've had World War II veterans. We've had one that's 103, one's 101, and so yeah. So thanks, Holly, for allowing us to come out and do that.
Well, thank you. Our veterans, we always like to appreciate them, any opportunity we get, and the Darke County Veteran Service Office does a great job of promoting the veterans and honoring their service.
I think you said you're going someplace else today then.
Yeah,
so-
we're going over there across from the middle school,
Okay.
whichever one that is.
Was it Rest Haven?
Oh, Rest Haven.
Yeah, so we've got a few there to go pass out.
Okay, okay.
And I think we have one more in Union City, and then we'll be done.
Just another one of the things that the Darke County Veteran Service does, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Great organization for all local veterans. Well, let's talk about Holly Hill here. So, Holly, first of all, what's your official title out there at the BRC right now?
So I am the Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer at the Brethren Retirement Community.
Okay.
So I have been there, 16 years already.
You've become a veteran yourself, right?
I
In a different
am.
way.
I feel like I am.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about Holly Hill, some of the background, because you're a Bradford girl, just a little bit of your background and family and so forth.
Sure. So I was born and raised in Bradford. I remain there today with my family. It's a great place, a little community to raise a family. So I graduated from Bradford and then attended Miami University.
Good girl.
And graduated with a degree in sociology and gerontology. So as we talk about aging today, that's a little bit of where I got my background from.
How'd you happen to pick that as a major?
I was a little undecided in my early years about what I wanted to do for a career, and went to school and hadn't really declared a major, and then took a gerontology class at Miami and really enjoyed it. And so started taking a few more classes and really found my place there, my home. So haven't looked back and enjoyed every minute of it.
Now, I've known Holly for a long time because her mother was, and just recently retired, was a longtime secretary at Bradford Elementary School, where my wife taught for 30 years. And we talk about aging. What makes me really feel old is my wife had Holly in the 4th grade, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, Bradford Elementary,
Yeah.
yes.
And now Holly won't say anything about this, but if I remember correctly, the 1996 Bradford Homecoming Queen.
97.
Well,
97,
yeah,
don't
but it was the
age me.
fall of 96.
That's true. That
See
would have
that?
been.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. That would have
so we're
been.
blessed with a queen
long
here. We
time
got
ago.
royalty here.
Now
Were you
you're-
ever the homecoming
you're
king
aging
anywhere?
her.
Oh, I've been homecoming in a lot of different places, but nothing of royalty, let me tell you. Talk a little bit about your family, because I know Galen's covered your kids doing sports out there at Bradford, and a little bit about maybe your husband and so forth.
Yeah, so my husband Jason and I will be married 24 years here shortly, later this year. And we have 2 wonderful children. We have Kendall, who is getting ready to graduate from Xavier University with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and just accepted a nursing position at Miami Valley Hospital. And our son Hudson is a freshman at Wright State University studying business and accounting.
Okay.
So they've done well, yeah.
Yeah.
Galen has covered the kids in sports and taken many, many pictures that we certainly appreciate through My County Link, and we'll always have those as memories. So
Her kids, Kendall and Hudson, tremendous athletes. outstanding athletes.
Thank you. Thank you. We've enjoyed watching them, for sure.
Hudson, a great baseball player, a basketball player, three-point shooter, had a beautiful three-point shot. Kendall was a great basketball player, and yeah, they did well. And, you know, when your kids were playing, Bradford had some good teams. You know, a lot of
Yes.
people think little Bradford's had some great sports programs over the years.
They have,
And
yes.
athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
really
great
good
athlete. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're going to talk about, like I said, retirement communities and how they've changed and how you've had to adapt to different things. And also talk a little bit about aging, and you've got three old guys here, so we should be able to
Hey, speak for
contribute.
yourself.
Well, I didn't include you. You were the.
There you go.
If I remember right, now, senior citizens are divided into like three different areas, aren't they? Young seniors, middle seniors, and old seniors?
Well, you know, there's always that question is who is a senior? What's that age cutoff? And as I get a little older, you know, that
It moves
we
up,
like to
moves
say
up.
Moving the bar.
55, but that's feeling a little close now. So what is a senior? What do you guys consider a senior citizen?
I'm not a senior yet.
Okay.
Anybody 10 years older than I am. But no, I think I remember reading someplace like 55 to 64 is young seniors, and 65 to whatever's to 80s like middle seniors, and 80 and above
I think
is
it's
old
mostly
seniors.
mental.
I do
What do you
too.
think you are?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, how old do you feel?
Yeah.
yeah. Age is just a number, right?
That's
Yeah, I'm
right.
not a senior till I look in the mirror.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I avoid bright lights in front of mirrors.
I do
Yeah, that's for sure. So,
Matter of fact, I always carry a cross in front of a mirror.
so retirements and the retirement communities, and it's no longer called nursing homes. The BRC, for years and years, Brethren Home, and it's been there for what, 125 years?
Yeah, since 1902.
Yeah.
Long history.
What changes have you noticed in the industry, and I guess you can call it industry, specifically here locally as well as nationally?
So the biggest changes that we're seeing is, and Brethren Retirement Community is what we call a continuing care retirement community, which means we offer all services. Now you might hear the term a life plan community, which means as people's healthcare needs transition, they can move through the continuum and still have a different level of care. Probably the biggest change that we have seen is skilled nursing or nursing homes are starting to decrease their number of beds that they offer. We're seeing a bigger increase in facilities building independent living homes or a higher desire for assisted living services with more care. So I think we'll continue to see nursing homes shrink. There will always be a place and a need for nursing home care, but I think we can all agree that not too many people are raising their hand and saying, let's go to the nursing home today. But there is certainly a need for that level of care, but most people are desiring to age in place in their homes with more services wrapped around them or move to an assisted living with higher care needs.
When you talk about the different levels in the continuum and so forth, and in all honesty, so my wife and I built one of the new homes out at the BRC. We're coming up on 6 years we've been there already.
Already, yeah.
And I know Galen making a move, right?
We're getting ready to go out there, and Holly got us fixed up. We're moving in the opposite end of it, and one of the larger
Cottages out
Mm-hmm.
there.
it's perfect for us.
Yeah.
Which brings up the question, how is the BRC keeping up with this expansion, and how are they keeping up with all the changes?
Well, it's there's a lot of nursing homes are highly regulated, so there's always changes. The pandemic certainly was hard on healthcare facilities.
Yeah.
There was a lot of changes over the last few years with the pandemic, and as we come out of the pandemic, we're constantly looking at all those regulation changes. But as we see the desire more for independent living, we have had the opportunity to purchase properties adjacent to our campus and be able to grow the independent living in that way. So we currently have 98 independent living homes on our campus. We're getting ready to build 2 more, so that'll give us 100 homes. And have future plans to continue building independent
Now, does that
living.
include the cottages too, or are you just going to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that includes the cottages as well, so Chestnut and Oakwood Village both.
And when we talk about the continuum, so like Galen and I then, we're considered independent living, okay? what's the next step along the way, and how does people transition through, and some of the benefits that's offered by moving in at young ages, right, Galen?
So, as residents in independent living, you would both have priority access to the next level of care, which generally is assisted living care. So we will always have a place for you in assisted living if and when that time comes that you need a higher level of care.
Define assisted living.
Assisted living, can really vary today. We have some residents that live in assisted living that are 100% independent, still drive, come and go every day. They are there for different reasons, like meal preparation, housekeeping and laundry, or companionship. Companionship is huge in retirement living. But then we also have residents that need help every day with just about every aspect of their care, from getting up in the morning to getting ready for the day to going to bed at night and everything in between that. So we are able to offer different levels of care in assisted living so that people can remain in their apartments.
Well, then what's the next step beyond assisted living then? That's the medical center? Or-
Well, we do have the medical center that is there, but we also do have a level in between assisted living and the medical center, which is a secure memory care area. There's a big
I'd forgotten
demand,
about that.
big demand for Alzheimer's or dementia care right now. And so we do have a secured memory care unit licensed as assisted living, but provides more hands-on daily care to residents. And then the nursing home would be our highest level of care. And that offers both short and long-term care. So we don't want to forget about short-term rehab stays, because we do a fair amount of rehab stays as well and have a great therapy department.
The employment situation is affecting how have you guys handled it? Are you having trouble? Is it getting better or worse, or?
Healthcare employment has certainly been a challenge. And again, you hate to keep going back to the pandemic, but the pandemic was tough. We just saw a statistic this week that said 100,000 RNs left the industry during the pandemic. 100,000. That's a lot. That's significant. So I think any healthcare facility today could say that they're always hiring. We are always looking for staff, and we fill our buildings based on our staffing. So we would never take more residents than we could care for. So it's a balance, but we are always looking. We have a great team. We have 280 what we call care partners, or employees that provide excellent care daily to our residents. But we are always looking for additional people to join our team.
How many people actually work at the BRC?
Yeah, about 280.
Just total? Okay, 'cause one time, aren't you still one of the top 10 employers in Darke County?
That's correct,
what I
yeah.
thought,
How many residents are there, just off the top of your head, in independent living all through here at the Greenville campus? And then let's talk a little bit about, because you also have another one down at Mill Ridge outside of Union, correct?
Very nice one.
We would serve just under 500 residents at Brethren Retirement Community. Now, that would include our campus in Union, which is Mill Ridge Village, that's independent living. But yeah, we would serve just about 500 residents.
So that's 2 employees per resident, basically.
Or two residents
Or 2
2
residents per
per
employee, yeah.
employee? And not only do you have that at Union, but you also then oversee the administration of another campus or 2 up north, am I correct in that?
We do. So in 2010, Brethren Retirement Community started a new LLC called Brethren Management Services. And a lot of people may not know that, but we started Brethren Management Services to help other rural, nonprofit, long-term care facilities that are faith-based, like Brethren Retirement Community, help them kind of navigate these changes in the healthcare system. So effective January 1st, 2025 here, the Mennonite Home Communities of Ohio and Bluffton affiliated with Brethren Retirement Community. So that's new news for us. So
Okay.
we have continued to grow. They are also a continuing care retirement community, and they would be about 2/3 the size of BRC. So we now own the Mennonite Home Communities of Ohio. We do also manage Grace Brethren Village and Inglewood.
Okay.
And again, they're a rural, faith-based, nonprofit retirement community. So we've kind of broadened our footprint from Darke County to service other areas as well.
Now, when we talk about living out there and so forth, activities, you have an activities director, there's a lot of different facets involved, but activities, trying to get people involved. I know one thing, you talked about companionship, and I think that socialization is so important. You don't want to become one of those older people
That's
that, you know,
Stays in all the time.
stays in all the time, and all of a sudden that interaction's no longer there. Talk a little bit about some of the activities that could go on out there and, you know, things of that nature.
I think that's one piece that a lot of people do desire. And people have the opportunity to either join activities or not. That's a personal preference. So if a person prefers their privacy and kind of keeping to themselves, that is their choice. But we do have daily activities. There is always something to do at Brethren Retirement Community. So anything from crafts and games to musical entertainment, Bible study groups. We do have church service every Sunday afternoon for the residents to participate in, group outings, individual one-on-one sessions, group discussions, movies,
Yeah.
lots of amenities there.
I thought you were going to say bocce, but evidently you didn't.
We do have bocce for our independent living residents.
I'm going to try to get Galen involved in that. He's only going to be about 100 yards from the new bocce
Yeah.
courts we put in out there. That really got off to a good start. Hopefully we can expand that over the coming years and so forth. I thought you'd throw that in there. for
Oh,
sure.
I'm sorry, I forgot that.
I'm gonna get a camera for that one.
How tough is it? Because that's a fairly heavily regulated industry. Does that drive you folks crazy out there? Because I know you get audited a lot, and you get visits and things of that nature from regulatory commissions. How tough is that?
It is tough, you know, it's, we get visits from the Ohio Department of Health, we get visits from, you know, local health department, state fire marshals. I mean, they have to make sure that the residents are properly cared for and taken care of. So we feel very confident about the care that we provide and keep our buildings up to date and safe for everybody. So we're ready when they come in. It certainly is a stressful time whenever we see a surveyor come in the building, but that's all a part of it that you get used to.
What's the most rewarding part of your job
Oh,
as
wow.
Vice President of Marketing?
How much time do we have?
Not that much.
No, it really is, and as we talk about the need for healthcare workers, I mean, you go home every day feeling like you've made a difference in somebody's life. You know, we get a lot of interaction. We have a lot of wise residents that offer good counsel, and the interaction with the residents, you know, we really just, you can't get enough of that. They appreciate it, we appreciate it. It's rewarding for everybody. It warms your heart to know that, you know, you've had that daily interaction with them. So getting out and about and not sitting behind a desk is the best thing to do. The residents know us, we know them, and so that's a real important piece.
You know, one thing I'm going to ask Mike and Galen about too is we're all retired, right?
Yes.
And so we've been fortunate, we've been able to, well, we've been retired from our careers,
Right, yes.
professional careers, but we've all been fortunate. We've found other outlets to not only provide that companionship and socialization, but to still make ourselves feel relevant.
Right.
You guys think that over the years, that people that are our age now, and we're all in our 70s, we look at things a little differently than, say, our parents or even our grandparents
Oh,
did
by
at
far.
that particular age?
By far.
I think we've got a completely different dynamic. I mean, you know, you see 70-year-old women now, and they're out and they're doing exercise class, they got leggings on, they've got this, that, and the other, and we're involved in stuff. Whereas I always thought of grandmothers when I was a little kid, had the little frilly apron on and the lace-up shoes and,
Now
you know,
you're
their hair
wearing them.
back in a bun.
Now
and-
you're wearing.
Now I don't get that. I use Velcro now. I can't tie my shoes. But have you noticed that change?
Yeah.
I have.
What's one thing, say, as we get older that you've noticed, whether it's physically, mentally, anything like that?
I noticed, I can walk a roof real easy. I've done it all my life. I have to be careful now on a roof. I don't know what it is, but once in a while get up, but I'm probably not gonna do that anymore. My balance or there's something that just doesn't click as good as it used to. I don't trip and fall, but to get up on a roof, it's not the same for me.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
glad-
what I've noticed the most is the activity level. When my grandfather retired many moons ago, he'd go on the front porch, he'd sit all day. They didn't participate in much. They might go to the grocery and that's about it. Now, I'm seeing more and more retirees like us three. You know, we've got other interests to do. We're always out all the time. We try to keep active. And I think that's the biggest difference. And also, that's improved our health as we get older. Because our life expectancy is getting farther along. What the typical soldier in the Civil War lived to be 55 or 50. Now we're up to 77 for the average, or
That sounds
something
about
somewhere in that area. So things are getting better as we get older. And I think that the biggest challenge for me is not being able to do as much as I used to.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be able to carry in 4 bags of salt, 40-pound bags of salt. Now I can only carry 2. You know, it's just, and it's hard to teach yourself that you can't do what you used to do.
But Mike, if it wasn't for surgery, you've got what, 2 knees?
2 knees, 2 shoulders, and a hip.
Yeah, so 50, 70 years ago, when our grandparents.
I would have been
were-
totally
Yeah.
incapacitated.
My grandfather couldn't hardly walk. He walked with crutches. Well, today, he would be able to have been out.
Yeah, the difference is unbelievable.
You know, you talked about the balance and so forth and being on the roofs. And so I'll throw in some professional things here. There's a couple reasons for that. One is, as we age, our nerve fibers thicken, and so we don't conduct electrical impulses as fast as we used to. That's why you don't see too many baseball players after 35 or 40, because they just don't have those fast twitch
They just
fibers.
can't do it.
Their reflexes aren't there. And so that's part of the thing. So we can't recover from something. If we start to fall, it's not as quick as it used to be. The other thing is there's things called proprioceptive nerves, and we've got them around our ankles and knees and so forth, and those nerves for our entire life have been given feedback to our brain, letting us know where we are in relationship to things. Well, as we lose those, and we lose about 50% of them by the time you get in your 50s and 60s, you're not getting that feedback. And so then, all of a sudden, that crack in the sidewalk or that threshold in the doorway, all of a sudden, we're not picking that foot up half an inch, we're only picking up a quarter inch, and then we have that tendency to stumble. So one thing I know, and we talk about different things we've been doing, I work out like 3-4 times a week and have a personal trainer out at Snap Fitness. We do a tremendous amount of work on balance, the Bosu balls and so forth, so you kind of overcome a little bit of that. I'm not saying I'm going to go out and, you know, do ballet or anything like that.
Oh, I'd love
and
to
I'm not
see
going to
that.
dunk a basketball
I would
anymore.
love to see
Yeah,
that.
I would, in a tutu. Yeah, I know you would. But there's just certain things. I mean, lung capacity, heart capacity, everything. But the key is stay active. If you stay active,
Exactly.
that gives you not only that good mental attitude, but I think it just keeps those physical attributes in
And
place.
I think too, the more active you are, the more people you are around, which also keeps you young.
Yeah.
I know Alex and I play golf a lot out Turtle Creek, and we're around people our age
Yeah.
and stuff. But it's more like a bunch of kids, like a kids club, like it
Well,
was
it's a
when you were in school.
fellowship, yeah.
Yeah, it really is, and that keeps you young and involved.
But I would imagine when you do get our age, how often, Holly, do you see where the wife is in real good shape and the husband isn't, or opposite? How do you deal with that, where one can't do what the other can do, and then
Yeah, we see that a lot. You know, usually when a person makes a move to the retirement community, they're either one spouse is looking out for the other and planning in advance. It's always good to have a plan in place. And a lot of people desire to stay together. So even if one person could live in independent living and their spouse needs assisted living, a lot of times you see them both come into assisted living care because they want to remain together. So, or if they don't, and one stays in independent living and one in assisted, at least they're on the same campus and close together. So you see a lot of visits happening then. So it does give people that option.
Now, you've been a veteran in the industry, but you haven't been in all that long, comparatively speaking. What changes have you noticed in the people that are coming into the continuum that you talk about?
What we're noticing is people are waiting a lot longer to come in. They're coming in older and more frail. They're coming in
really?
with more needs. Yes, so, and mainly we're talking about assisted living. You know, when they're coming in older and more frail, they need help. we would always encourage people to come sooner so that you can enjoy that active lifestyle that we're all talking about here, the bocce games and, you know, the campus and really getting out and walking and enjoying those activities. So we rarely would hear somebody say, I wish I didn't do this. Usually people are saying, I should have done this a long time ago. Because once they get there, that transition period goes really quickly and smooth, and then they see a real value in having close neighbors and friends and everything close by.
I also think too, the good thing about Brethren of Retirement is everybody in Darke County knows about it.
Yes.
And let's be honest, we're a small community and a lot of people out there know everybody and have for a long time.
Yeah.
Hey, I just lost my train of thought. I had a really good question for you, Holly. And so forth. Oh, I know what it was.
They got a unit
So,
up there for
yeah.
that.
No, yeah, I need that memory care unit. Have you noticed, you talk about people coming in a little later in life, is it because family members are hesitant financially to say, well, we can keep mom at home for another year or two, or is that part of the process?
I think that certainly plays a factor in it. People are always have that fear of depleting their resources, and have I planned my retirement enough? Have I saved enough to come in? So I think that plays a part in it. I also think that people just have that desire to remain at home.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get a caregiver. I'm gonna wrap services around my loved one at home for as long as I can. And so I think it's kind of twofold there. There's
I think
the
that-
financial
I think
aspect.
you're more right about that than anything.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, especially a husband and a wife, the husband tries to take care of the wife takes care of the husband, and the kids see that it's actually hurting both of them. And they're the ones that I know when it was my father, we pushed our mother into saying, look, let's put dad someplace where they can take care of him 24/7. You can't do it, you're just killing yourself. And I think that plays a big part in it too.
Caregiving is hard. You know, caregiver stress
It is hard,
is
yeah.
a real thing, and it is tough to be a caregiver. Everybody desires that they want to take care of their spouse or their mother or their father. But there comes a point to where, you know,
It doesn't make sense, it really doesn't.
yes, an organization like Brethren Retirement is a good option, and then they can come in and really enjoy that visit, that quality of time with their loved one instead of being the caregiver.
Yeah, I think you're right when you said that a lot of times it's the caregiver that's health's going to decline faster than the one being given the care and so forth. And also, I think it's true that people say, we should have done this sooner.
Yeah, yeah, we hear that almost all the time. You know, I should have moved here sooner. I didn't understand that the daily life was so active and that the
Is there
food
an
is
age limit out
good.
there?
We're 55 and older
55.
retirement community. Doesn't mean that every resident that we serve is 55, but for the most part, they would be.
Yeah,
Good question.
yeah. Anything else, men, we want to bring up here as far as aging?
Well, as baby boomers, since I'm in
Yes,
the
we
room
are the
with-
boomers,
with
yeah, baby
three
boomers.
baby boomers, and the boomers are getting older. You know, they say now the oldest baby boomer is 79 this year.
Yes, they would have been from 1946 through 64.
Yeah. So, as baby boomers, what are boomers going to want in retirement living? Because that's going to be different.
There's a few things, but I probably can't bring them up in public, but. No, I think just being active, and I think especially being relevant. The three of us have all been very active in the community and the county. We've had careers that have put us out in front of people, and I think all three of us, and that's one reason why we work with mycountylink.com. Thank God that, you know,
Right, exactly.
Galen and Dale Barter kind of put this together and gives Mike and I a creative outlet.
As creative as we can get.
As creative as we can get, yeah, to be relevant. And so I think being active and I think being relevant, to me, those are the two main things that I
Okay.
desire. And then the independent living.
And I
too.
totally agree with that. I think the biggest thing for retirement is have something to do, plan your retirement, so that when you hit that age and you retire, you have something else to carry you on. Whether you want to travel all the time, whether you want to play golf all the time, go here, go there, do whatever, but have a plan for what you want to do after you retire.
You know, if I had a do-over, the one thing I'm sorry I didn't do was spend more time with my grandparents and learn from them
Oh.
about my heritage and, you know, I thought they were old. Well, I'm that age now, And, you know, we have some wisdom yet.
We do.
You know, but it's kind of like nobody wants to hear it anymore. And our older the boomers, there's a lot of knowledge there that I think's going to waste. But, you know, I was the same way.
Well,
I just wish I would have sat.
We were that way when we were younger. We didn't want to
Right.
listen to what they told us.
Exactly.
But when you do pick up what they told you, now you look back and say, man, that.
Right.
Well, I'm glad they told me that.
Well, there's
Sure.
that old saying, your parents are always right.
Yep.
Right? So you start to see that.
Eventually, you come around to
Yes,
that.
you
Yeah.
do see that.
Yeah, when you're 17, you think you know everything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. You know, the other thing I think is real important too is to have friendships and connections with different generations. I think I don't want to be that person when I get to, I'm going to make it to 90, I'm telling you right
All
now.
right,
When I get
all
to
right.
90, I want to have other generation. I want the 25-year-olds and I want the 70-year-olds. I want to have communications with them because, face it, when you get 85, 90, all of a sudden your peer group has shrunk down considerably.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think having connections with other age groups or other generations is real important.
Especially with
too.
young people.
Especially with young people. They keep you young.
Well, they keep you young, and you find out just how different your childhood was than what theirs is now.
Yeah,
And you can maybe help guide them along.
yeah,
Tell them what, you know,
Yeah.
give them your wisdom.
yeah. yeah.
We have good kids in our school systems.
We do, we got
We have
good
great
communities,
kids,
good
so-
communities.
Yeah,
That's because of people like Holly.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it really is.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of communities, what's new out in Bradford lately?
Oh, Bradford. Bradford's a great place. So I just saw the Bradford Pumpkin Show Committee is
Yeah.
actively working. So, you know, Bradford's known for our pumpkin show and all the confetti. So,
How long have you been in your new home?
oh, let's see. We
Been
moved
what,
there.
about 10 years?
It'd be 12 years.
12 years.
12 years this
Wow,
summer.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Remember
built
that.
that,
I remember
did
when you moved
We
there.
did. We
Built that.
built that
Yeah.
new home, and
Yep.
so
Yeah, east side of
Bradford,
Miami County.
Bradford has a beautiful football facility
Yeah.
now.
New football
Their baseball
stadium.
and softball is,
Well, and the school building was
Right.
That
the
was
first of the new ones in Dark County, correct?
yeah,
Yes.
that first graduating class was the class of 2000. So
Okay.
it didn't seem like that long ago, but Galen's right. We just added a beautiful new football stadium and concession area out at our school. So a lot of good things
Very
happening
nice.
in Bradford.
Yeah, there is.
You know, I was thinking about, you talked about the pumpkin show. I think the last time I went, I said it'd be the last time, some little kid came up, plastered me with wet confetti, and I
that's all
said,
part of it,
"That's it. I know
Alex.
that's part of
That's
it.
part of it."
That's not my part though." So.
it's amazing how big their parade is.
Yeah, it is.
huge.
It's a huge,
Yes.
huge event.
is.
And something to be very proud of out there for a
Yes,
small community.
yes.
Yeah.
We love it. It's our little community.
It's
As Dark County Commissioner, we always used to love going there. It was the last one of the year.
But you didn't step over on the Miami County side, did you?
Well, yeah, so every once in a while our trailer would get over that way.
Hey, and then the Railroad Museum, is that still out there?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
I know we did a
Yeah, I
show
think
on
so.
that. Remember Nick, you and Nick Schmidt I'm talking to here, we went out and did a show at the Bradford Railroad Museum and very
It's
interesting. Of course,
beautiful,
the
beautiful.
history of the railroads at Bradford is, it's just too bad. There's no railroad through there anymore.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and a little plug here, if you go look online, you can see a whole bunch of pictures of the railroad on our site.
Okay.
And the turntable.
Very good, very good. Well, hey, Holly, thanks so much for stopping by and kind of bringing us up to date on everything, not only at the BRC in specific, but just general and retirement communities in general. We certainly appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you folks out there, think about, maybe down the road, what all's involved and how to stay active and relevant like we talked
Yeah.
about. 'Cause I
All
think
them old
that's-
folks.
all the- yeah, I think that's real important. So anyhow, this has been Holly Hill, Vice President of Marketing out at the Brethren Retirement Community, and thanks again for stopping by. And
Thank you for
Galen and
having
Mike,
me.
and myself, and then Nick Schmidt behind the camera today. Thanks again for joining us here on the roundtable here on mycountylink.com. We'll see you more here soon because we have 2 more shows lined up, I think, later this week, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Hopefully, second.
Hopefully the second one. Anyhow, goodbye, everybody. Have a good day out there.